Hey everyone, welcome back to the Auto Corner channel. Have you ever turned the key and heard nothing happen? No click, no cranking, just silence. This no crank, no start issue can leave you stranded. So pay close attention as in this video. I reveal the top causes and troubleshooting techniques to fix a no crank, no start problem in your car. First, a weak or dead battery can cause a no crank condition. The high current required to crank the engine overtaxes a struggling battery. Loose battery terminals or corrosion buildup increases resistance, preventing enough power from reaching the starter. It could also be a failing starter motor. Inside is a winding that's supposed to spin powerfully when energized. But if the windings are wearing out, it may just click weakly without spinning the engine. Or the commutator and brushes that complete the circuit could be stuck, meaning no power flows at all. The pinion gear is another potential problem area in the starter. This small gear is supposed to engage with the flywheel to turn over the engine. But if it's cracked or worn down, it may not spin or catch properly. Sometimes it's not the starter itself, but the switch that activates it. The ignition switch sends a signal down a thin wire to engage the starter solenoid. But if this switch has gone bad, that signal may not be sent clearly. The starter waits expectantly for the command to start, but receives only silence on the line. Safety switches like the neutral safety or clutch interlock switch are designed to prevent starting when not in the neutral gear or parking mode. With a glitchy switch, it may not let the starter do its job no matter what gear you're in. It could even be a problem farther up the line with the starter relay. This component acts as a gatekeeper, only allowing current to flow to the starter once energized. But worn contacts can get stuck, refusing to let power through to the eagerly awaiting starter motor. Finally, poor ground connections can cause issues as well. The starter circuit relies on a good ground to complete the pathway for electricity. But if the connections are corroded or loose, it introduces electrical resistance. This can reduce voltage and prevent the starter from engaging. Now, let's discuss how you can methodically track down the culprit behind the no crank, no start condition of your car. First, pop the hood and grab a multimeter. Check battery voltage. It should show over 12 volts with the car off. During that procedure, make sure that the battery terminals do not have any signs of corrosion. Next, you need to load test the battery. Have someone to crank the engine and you check battery voltage. If it is less than 9.6 volts, it means the battery is dead. You should also see dashboard warning lights when you turn on the ignition key. If they are dimmer than normal, it means the battery is low on charge. But if battery checks out fine, let's move down the starter motor cables. Wiggle and inspect the thick positive cable that runs from the battery to the starter. Check for looseness and corrosion. Make sure connections are tight and clean at both ends. A loose battery or starter cable can cause random no-crank gremlins. Now, find the thin trigger wire that goes to the starter solenoid. This brings the signal that tells the starter to engage. Any corrosion or looseness with this wire can lead to silence when you want that sweet starter serenade. If cables check out, let's bypass components and test. First, the ignition switch. Run a jumper wire from the positive battery terminal to the trigger on the starter solenoid. If the starter spins now, you've got a faulty switch that's not sending the cue. It's time for an ignition switch replacement. What if that doesn't work? Try bypassing the clutch safety or neutral safety switch and see if the starter spins and cranks over the engine. If it does, it's time of that safety switch replacement. If it doesn't work, grab a hammer and give the starter body a few solid thwacks while your buddy turns the key. The vibration can knock brushes or windings back into place temporarily inside a misbehaving starter motor. If the engine cranks now, starter replacement is imminent. Let's say even hammer therapy doesn't inspire your starter. Pull it out and take it for bench testing. Hook it up directly to a power source. If it spins normally, the starter itself is likely good. We need to trace back up the line. Next, suspect is poor grounding causing voltage drops. Inspect the ground straps between the engine and chassis. Got corrosion? Clean it off until you see shiny metal. Ground connections need to be tight to avoid resistance. The voltage drop across ground connections should be less than 0.2 volts. If the starter and grounds check out fine, the culprit may be the starter relay. Swap in a known good one and see if your starter comes back to life. Faulty relay contacts won't close and energize the starter. Thanks for tuning in. I hope these troubleshooting tips help you diagnose and fix a no crank, no start issue quickly. For a more detailed diagnostic guide, I have left a link to my detailed guide in the description. Also, subscribe to follow along with future videos, and give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'll see you in the next video.